Well, it's now time for AM Business, but let's look at the stories. It's a build-up to the 2016 edition of the Multi-TV Habitat Fair, and it's scheduled to come off this very Friday, August 12, at the Accra International Conference Center, and it's taking place till Sunday, August 14. The fair is to offer to consumers a one-stop shop for all housing solutions, and it's themed Affordable Housing for All. The annual event has sought to help bridge the country's housing deficit by bringing together private stakeholders, relevant government agencies and policymakers, as well as individuals, all to make sure they get the best prices, the best product within the period of the fair. And this year is no exception. And our own Sheila Tamaklo has been finding out progress with plans to address the situation of housing and reports.
Is a basic need in every society. In Ghana, a rapid growing middle class coupled with urbanization have boosted the demand. Research by the Ghana Real Estate Development Association, GREDA, pegs the nation's housing deficit at 1.7 million. This means over 15,000 housing units need to be put up each year for the next 10 years if the issue is to be addressed. Many believe this presents a huge business opportunity for private developers. A number of the real estate companies are already capitalizing on this. But the high cost of facilities remain a major issue of concern and a disincentive for especially prospective homeowners. The firms have, however, blamed it on a number of unfavorable factors, such as the high cost of credit and taxation, among others. The executive director of Elegant Homes and General Construction, Dorothy Kwashi, explains further.
The challenges are enormous. Financing is one. People visit your stand, they want their properties, but they are unable to acquire. There are some financial challenges on our part. It's difficult to go in for loans to complete projects, and it's basically putting in infrastructure and all that. It's one way that really have a heavy toll on us. I believe strongly if the government can come in and most of the lands that are dotted around, they can put in some kind of basic infrastructure so that when estate developers acquire the land, they can also do the construction and in a way have the houses sold at a minimum price.
For some players, a review of the flat 5% value-added tax imposed on housing units in October last year would significantly improve the situation for both the developers and clients. The tax imposition means prospective homeowners have to pay more for accommodation, and especially those who have purchased houses before October 1 and still servicing their mortgages have raised grave concerns against it.
The real estate market is down at the moment, and now you're adding an extra 5% on sales, which makes it a bit more difficult right now. I mean, the law came into effect 1st October 2015. Now, prior to that, if you had bought a house and you haven't paid, now you have to pay the 5%. So it puts a lot of people, it makes a lot of people unhappy because owning a home, you want to own a home. Everyone wants to own a home, and you want to find the best deal possible. And now you put this 5% with this hardship in the economy, puts a lot of people at unease. You know, we're all feeling that pinch right now, and it's just not the right time to put a 5%. It affects business because I don't make sales. I mean, it makes it very hard for me to make a sale, because then when you tell them that you have to pay a 5%, oh, then it kind of like changes the sale pitch, and it becomes very difficult.
The project manager of Heaven's Gate Real Estate added his voice to the issue, emphasizing the situation has made many choose home rent over mortgage.
Issues of tax, is a huge thing. What it is now is getting cost a bit high, and that is also limiting us in terms of client base. Now you have to make sure do one or two adjustments in terms of production. Either you cut down on your production, so maybe because we are a business and we look for profit, but we now have to bring the profit down to meet the demands of the people. You need to have the capital to really be part of this process, and that is making it very difficult for persons to really acquire their own. And I think that's a major thing, because again, looking at, I told you it's capital intensive, so getting the capital into this housing thing is very difficult. So persons, let's say people from the informal sector, for instance, where they are not getting regular income, think maybe when I get 5 cedi, I can get a house. So most of them are being laid off the system. Also the rental aspect of it also is because definitely if I can rent, and why would I want to build? And people also thinking about our job structure when we are being like rotated. Today I'm at this place, tomorrow at that place. So persons don't feel, why should I own a place which is a bit capital intensive?
A collaboration between private investors and government, that is public-private partnerships, has over the years been advocated as the panacea to the problem. Government believes strong regulatory framework is also critical in the bid to find a lasting solution to the challenge.
Seated next to him is the Managing Director.
Deputy Minister for Water Resources, Works and Housing, Samson Ahi, says plans are far advanced in passing a comprehensive bill to that effect.
Government comes with policies and programs to create the necessary environment so that the private sector can support government in providing homes for Ghanaians.
Deleted from the bill. Clause 106.
The bill laid before Parliament would also establish a real estate authority that will regulate the sector. According to the project manager of Heaven's Gate Real Estate, the bill could not have come at a better time.
That this policy really is going to help, because there are a lot of real estate companies now in the system, and definitely when there are a lot of people, you need something to regulate us. Not all real estate companies are real estate companies, and definitely when the system comes, we're going to fish up those real estates who are muddying a bit the waters for us, because we are all going to be under one umbrella where we'll be regulated. There will be standards for us, so you are not just going to build, but you are going to build up to standards. So really, when this policy comes into it, we are not going to have the mass real estate companies in there, but we are going to have those, in quotes, I would say credible, those can meet really the demands of the people.
So this year's edition of the Multi-TV Habitat Fair, under the theme Affordable Housing for All, will also provide another platform for stakeholders to advance the discussion on the issue. Sheila Tamaklo for Joy Business.
And that very educative report is by Sheila Tamaklo. And we know that the Habitat Fair will be taking place at the Accra International Conference Center this very weekend from Friday to Sunday. Please make sure that you stay glued to this very channel. We'll bring you the best as far as information on the Habitat Fair, but we'll continue a lot more